Where do you want to go next?
We can do the Cruiserweight match. Buddy Murphy
Okay.
versus Tony Nese. Tony Nese obviously winning the Cruiserweight tournament to get there. Yeah, I didn't think he'd be the person to win it, to be honest, but I guess they're going to try and push him. I can't picture Buddy Murphy losing.
Yeah, I don't know that he has sold the cruiserweight division like some of those other guys, like Neville, even Enzo, sort of drew attention as the champion, 205 Live. But I do like Buddy Murphy a lot. I think that
Yeah.
guy's got some super talent. He completely transformed himself to become a cruiserweight. And he's done a really good job with that brand. I think, unfortunately, not enough fans watch 205 Live, and so they don't get to see how good Buddy Murphy actually is. Yeah, I think Buddy Murphy retains.
Okay, nice and short. little quick match. Let's go to one of the bigger matches then. One of the matches that it's been built up for, I would say, a few months now, with the actually going back to the Best in the World tournament. So you've got Miz versus Shane McMahon. That's a match that doesn't have a title on the line, doesn't really have a stipulation that makes a difference for long-term anything, but it's going to be Falls Count Anywhere, and it's going to be just, you would hope, a fight, not so much a wrestling match. And it's kind of, that fits in Shane McMahon's wheelhouse perfectly, because he's the kind of guy who you want to see flying off the top rope through the announcer's table and stuff like that. So maybe even something in the stands. I can't see this match going on early because of this, so I think we'll see how that actually plays out. But in that match, who do you have winning?
I would go with Shane for one of either two reasons. One, I think he either does something crazy. The fact that Falls Count Anywhere really opens up the door to him doing something insane. There's no cell to jump off of, but I mean, this guy has jumped off of stages and rungs of things, and just he's jumped from however, and the stage is at WrestleMania. I have not seen any views of what they're building for this
beautiful.
For the set so far, but I can only imagine what he may have for options that he can jump off of. And if he does that, and maybe we're hoping for too much and that he maybe shouldn't do that, but if he does, that could be one way that he gets the win. And the other way is with Shane playing the heel in this relationship, he can cheat. He can bring somebody in to help him win. And if he does, I don't know who that person would be, and it might start something with The Miz. It might start a feud, and that would be good for him, but I wouldn't be shocked to see if somebody else got involved.
Do you think maybe Sami Zayn does the same thing he's done in the past, but instead he helps Shane McMahon instead of attacking him? Kind of the old double cross that doesn't make much sense.
I suppose you could do that. I mean, Shane's the one backup that you have for a guy like Shane or a guy like Vince or a guy like whomever is that you can kind of throw logistical storyline out the window, because when it comes down to it, they can just say they spent money. Shane's got money. He's the owner. If he really wanted to, he could just buy somebody to do something for him. So sometimes you can just say, that doesn't make any sense. Why would Sami Zayn help Shane McMahon? And you'd be right. But then you could go, well, I'm Shane McMahon. I just paid him a lot of money, and he said yes. You can always get yourself out of a jam by explaining it that way. So I don't like it, but I like it. You know what I mean? Like you can get away with that with guys like Vince and Shane, and you have to sort of forget and overlook the past storylines that led up to it. I don't know that it would be Sami Zayn, no. I think if you're going to bring somebody back, I think Sami Zayn, when he returns, is going to get the Kevin Owens type pop. Whether he should stay a babyface, I don't know, but I think that he would be brought back as a babyface, just because of the surprise return element of that and getting fans to cheer for him because he's an underground guy and all that kind of stuff. So I think they'll bring him back as a good guy. So having him come back to help Shane, I don't know if I see it, but I mean, it could be. He's not on the card. He's there this weekend. So it's definitely an option. Yeah.
So for this one, I can see them giving it to Miz, because Shane McMahon, has he won a match at WrestleMania since coming back? I think he's just used for the high flying pops and stuff like that, which is good. It's good to let him do his thing, like I said. But
that's true. I mean, you said Shane, right? Other than the fact that he won the World Cup.
A WrestleMania match.
Oh, WrestleMania. No, I don't think so. He lost against AJ Styles. And then who else did he? The Undertaker. He lost against the Undertaker. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, so he's really used in a way. I mean, it could be his moment too, right? Give him the win at WrestleMania finally. So I'm going to tentatively put Miz, but this one I was really torn up about. I really didn't know. I was writing my answers down prior to doing this, and I wrote Miz defeats McMahon and McMahon defeats Miz, and I kept deleting it and putting it back the other way around. I'm gonna say Miz wins just because McMahon seems to not get that win, but I could also see interference where McMahon gets the win just because of something like that.
It's a toss-up for me. I think this match could go either way. And I think what most people are going to be looking forward to is the fact that it is Falls Count Anywhere, and probably don't really care who wins as long as something crazy happens.
And it should happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, should for the sake of fan entertainment, should for the sake of Shane McMahon's safety. I don't know so much about that because he's crazy. Like he does stuff that you're like, what is he doing?
So let's talk about Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. Obviously, it's for the U.S. title, and Balor is announced coming in as the Demon, to which you mentioned, and I agreed, that him coming out as the Demon King on Raw, or at least like showing that he's going to be the Demon King on Raw, was a very big misstep and kind of, I mean, it's obviously a mistake because the pop for the red smoke and the red lighting would have been huge at WrestleMania. It still will be big, but the surprise factor would have been so good. But I'll start this one. I think that Balor wins.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't. I mean, the Demon King and Finn Balor, it's almost like you want to say that WWE looks at the Demon King and looks at Finn Balor as two different people when it comes time to deciding what to do with their in-ring careers. Finn Balor seems to be the guy that never gets a fair deal. Like he's in the title hunt for the Universal title, but then they pull him out because he's not a big enough draw. Then they give him a push, and then they take it away. And then they give him a good program with somebody, and then they put him in a mid-card something with a nobody that just sort of gets lost in the shuffle. But then when you get to the Demon King, he's like the top big marketing guy that WWE looks at and goes, this guy he's going to win. He's like an Undertaker. Like he never loses, right? So I see them as two very different people. So anytime that I see the WWE has put the Demon King in a match, he's not going to lose. The only time I think he's lost is to AJ Styles, right? Or did he win that match? Remember when they did the Too Sweet thing? Who won that match?
I remember it was a last-second match that was put
together.
Yeah,
because AJ Styles flew in to do it.
Yeah, he was in South America.
Because wasn't Bray Wyatt hurt?
Yes. And they did the Too Sweet after, which, again, apparently wasn't planned. But was he the Demon during that match? Balor?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I think he was. I think you're right. That was a
because he promoted that he was going to be the Demon against Bray Wyatt. And that was the whole Sister Abigail crap.
Right.
And then eventually it didn't happen. But Demon King was already scheduled to do it. I can't, man. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on that to see who actually won that match. I'm going to have to go back and look at it. But
I also think that didn't Kevin Owens beat Balor for the title when he was the Demon King?
In NXT.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it's still.
I look at those two things as very different. For whatever reason, I don't even know that Vince McMahon watches NXT. like they don't look. It would serve Vince well to watch that show because they should bring these guys in and then go, wow, that really worked there. So for whatever reason, he thinks he knows better than the people that are there and telling him, okay, if you're going to call this guy up, this is what we did with him down there. And he was really good. You might not want to change it. But Vince doesn't do that. He just sort of, well, I'm just going to throw Aleister Black and Ricochet together because, there's too many of us right now. So let's just pop him into his tag team. Like, why do that? So the fact that Finn Balor lost some matches as the Demon King in NXT, and he won, I don't think that matters to Vince.
Yeah, he won against AJ Styles. I just checked.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah,
so I think as a Demon King in the WWE, I think he's undefeated.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say that Balor's going to win, mostly because I would love to see him back in the Universal title picture against Seth Rollins. But I think that's kind of a card or like an angle that's going to be reserved for Drew McIntyre later on. McIntyre versus Rollins for the the Universal title after Mania. I can see that being the angle they go with. But Balor, I think, should definitely get involved in that. If holding the U.S. title is like a placeholder for now, then great. We haven't really seen the U.S. title translate to world title success in the past, the way the IC title has. But yeah, Balor, I mean, as the Demon King, I can see something coming to a head with Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley as well. So there's definitely angles there.
I don't see how Balor doesn't win this one, whether he retains the Intercontinental title for long after that, because he's not coming back as the Demon King on Raw. Who knows what they'll do then. But